We came to Canada. We were in Brampton for a short while. We were then in St. Catharines for a short while. And then we were in Thorold for the most of my childhood, from the ages of about 6 until I went off to university. So I think of Thorold as my hometown. But, when I was young, we did move around quite a bit.
And so you're kind of a bit of a more small town experience growing up. Do you think that has had any kind of lasting influence on you to this point?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of people from small towns will attest to this as well. But small town, there's a lot of conversation about what the nature of Canada is as a country and as a nation. And it's interesting to me how a lot of those viewpoints can be heavily biased depending on whether or not the holder of those viewpoints are from one of the major cities, of which there are like 5, or and how the small town sort of realities or viewpoints completely get erased. Because the center of media, the center of most culture in Canada are all based in either Toronto, Montreal, or Vancouver. Every now and then you might get something out of Edmonton or Calgary, and then there's the East Coast, which is just an amalgam of people. I think they just assume everyone in the East Coast wears kilts and bagpipes and has kitchen parties. So I think the East Coast sort of stands in for it's like the small town of Canada is like the East Coast, right? But definitely small town Ontario is its own unique lifestyle. Depends on which small town you're from. And just to generalize over and over again, it's like if you, to overgeneralize, it's like small town Ontario is a different place. Like people are definitely, they're more friendly, but they're more racist. So there's two sides of a coin there. But they're not like outwardly racist. They just kind of hold racist viewpoints. And it's like kind of like no fault of their own. They just maybe have not been exposed to more progressive views, or it's not the prevailing attitude. But it's not to say that small town people are racist, but there's more racism. Or overt racism in a small town, or you're more likely to catch somebody saying something that's inappropriate or ignorant. Whereas in a big city, that racism is definitely more cloaked and it's more systemic, where people aren't necessarily, they consider themselves more educated or too educated to be racist, but they still benefit from racist systems and don't really vote in order to erase those racist systems. So I think small town Ontario is more upfront.